Make it rain.
What? Make it rain?
To the window.
To the walls.
To the walls.
Till the sweat drop down my balls. My balls. Oh, no, shit, you're right.
You fucked it up.
Oh, skeet, motherfucker.
No, you missed the females crawl.
All the females crawl.
I didn't know there was a female crawl.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was actually from a song. I thought it was just an expression.
No.
It's a song.
It's a song by...
Lil Jon.
Is it Lil Jon?
It's the Yin Yang Twins featuring Lil Jon.
Jake knows every song, Chris.
This is becoming a recurring theme. But do you know any of Sonny's songs? Because he said everyone
That's
forgot
true.
him.
Well, you know, how could you forget such great hits as Swimming in Your Soup and That Dog Won't Hunt.
And Hooey.
And Hooey.
Seriously.
Welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, episode, this one,
68.
Woo!
You know what next week is?
Yeah,
The start of season 2.
That too, yeah.
That too,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, so we're wrapping up season 1 of TNG.
Woo!
Thank fucking God.
Na 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 na.
Na 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 na.
Skeet. Goodbye.
Awesome.
What?
If you haven't already guessed, this is Ames.
This is Caitlin.
This is Jake.
And this is Chris.
And we're talking about TNG episodes Conspiracy and The Neutral Zone. Both 2 episodes where they try to start overarching plot arcs and don't fucking do anything with them.
Overarching plot arcs. I like where
So
I
many
like
arches, like 2 of them, and then they're golden.
Many
and
arches
you go
and
get some
also
fries.
arcs. Over 85 gajillion served.
So many fucking fries.
Diabetes.
In
Anyway.
Conspiracy, we're rethinking what happened in Coming of Age and remembering, oh right, we set something up there. We should probably do something with it. Picard is hailed by Captain Walker Keel of the USS Horatio, who informs Picard that there's some kind of conspiracy going on that he should be on the lookout for. Good luck, bro. Toodles. Picard goes and decides, things are weird. Oh shit, the USS Horatio just got blowed up. This might be part of that conspiracy he mentioned. I should check in. So he flies the Enterprise back to Starfleet headquarters in San Francisco to figure out what the hell is going on. He gets there and some Starfleet admirals, Savar, Aaron, and our friend Quinn, who was from Coming of Age, so we've met him before, continuity, are like, what are you doing home so early, bro? We were busy having parties and shit. You're not invited. And Picard says, I need to talk to you guys about things. And they confer about it and realize, okay, come down, we'll talk to you over dinner with Riker. But Quinn wants to come up there and hang out. And Picard says, okay, good, yeah, Quinn should come up here, we'll hang out with him. They talk to Quinn for a while. Eventually Quinn goes fucking crazy town and attacks Riker.
Everybody.
And attacks. Throws Geordi through a door.
Yeah.
Throws Worf across the room, but who can't do that? Until Bev shoots him up and brings him to sickbay to figure out, okay, something's up with Quinn. Let's figure out what's up with Quinn. Meanwhile, Picard is down on planet with the other 2 admirals to have a nice dinner with them. A delicious dinner of mealworms, apparently, which made Caitlin upset.
They actually might have been grubs. They were really big. They were pretty big for mealworms. I don't know. They were huge.
They were
I wanted
gross.
to die.
I thought it was just Klingon cuisine.
I'm fairly certain Jonathan Frakes ate some.
Worms?
Worms.
Actual worms?
They're edible. They're a good source of protein.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, so he's down there and they're being extra skeezy over these mealworms and being like, Picard, enjoy your mealworms, we're gonna hang out. And Picard says, no, I'd rather leave. Bev has meanwhile figured out that there's a parasite attached to Quinn's brain hole that has a little tail sticking out the back of his head. Because that's cute.
It's a gill. Didn't she say it was a gill?
She said it was a gill. It was
Old
kinda...
Gil's gonna get himself something good today.
And then Riker shows up and they cut the scene, which is unusual for Star Trek. We get back down to the planet and Riker shows up down there with Picard, saying, Picard, you're not going anywhere. Yes, that's right. I'm one of you things now. I'm a mealworm in my head. Let's have some grubs and talk about enslaving the human race. It's all good. Until Riker covertly grabs his phaser and phasers a whole bunch of the people in the room. And Picard helps, and he phasers more people in the room. And bugs crawl out of, like, gigantic fucking cockroach bugs crawl out of their mouths.
Made out of Play-Doh.
And Caitlin screams in horror for the next 5 minutes of this episode.
That's accurate.
And one of the admirals runs down the hallway, so they chase after him and shoot him. And his bug crawls out of his mouth and goes under the door. And it's been fucking Remick! Remick is host to the queen bug. So they shoot Remick for a while. Remick has eaten the final bug, because that was a disgusting thing they needed to add for no fucking reason.
His neck inflating was something as well.
No, that was really good. This episode, by the way, not to jump too far ahead,
won an Emmy for makeup, of course.
Yep.
I believe it.
So they shoot Remick up for a while. His fucking head explodes.
No, first all of the fucking skin burns off and it looks like the fucking Terminator, and then he explodes, and then the fucking alien from Alien shows up in his fucking sternum, his chest cavity, and it's just like, ah!
You did get a pretty good look at spine and ribs.
Oh,
like,
so
I'm surprised they got away with it.
I hated it. Go on, Ames.
So Remick is dead. Long live Remick.
No.
They say, well, this was fucking special. Apparently the killing Remick and the mother creature thing made all the other bugs die, so Quinn is back to usual. Anybody else who was infected earlier is probably fine. And everyone's wondering, Remick was sending some kind of coded message that may have been a beacon to Earth. I wonder if these parasite creatures come back! But don't worry, they probably never do. The neutral zone, we're revisiting the neutral zone, which we haven't thought about in a long time now, because we're supposed to not think about the Romulans for reasons.
Well, because the Ferengi are our new big
because
enemies.
the Ferengi are our new enemies, and because Gene Roddenberry didn't want the Romulans in the series. Or at least to battle with them. So we're tooling around. Data and Worf are checking out this little mini ship thinger that has a whole bunch of cryo units on it, and they go over and they look at them and realize, there's 3 people in here. This ship is failing eventually, so we should save them, because if they don't get saved, they'll just go away. So they bring them aboard the Enterprise. Picard wants to go to the neutral zone because a bunch of outposts out there have been destroyed, and they're curious about what's going on. Meanwhile, these people in the cryopods are saved by Beverly. Each one had a different ailment that had actually killed them. She revived them and brought them back to life and cured them from whatever the disease was. So all these people from the late 20th century are in the present now. What are we gonna do with them? I bet there'll be shenanigans.
Wacky hijinks.
Wackiest hijinks ever. Cut to the chase. We go to the neutral zone. Romulans show up. And they're like, yeah, we didn't do anything to these outposts. Our outposts on our side are just like this. Something must be up. The 3 random cryo people have plot lines that I don't fucking care about.
No one
enough.
cares about.
No one cares about. I don't think they cared about.
You know why you don't care? Because I'm the kind of guy, I'm more important than you, and if you don't care, I'm the one that cares. I gotta get on the phone to my lawyer, and my broker, and my dog groomer, and to make sure my assets are looked after.
I bet he was a really big Rick and Morty fan. He seems like the kind of smart guy that would be into Rick and Morty.
Yeah, so we decide, okay, with Romulans, including Mark Alemo, who is back and awesome. Okay, maybe we'll team up and figure out what this thing is that's been taking down our outposts. And who knows if we ever do that anytime soon, because fuck continuity in this episode, in this whole series. The end.
Yeah.
Oh, and they send the cryo people away.
Good riddance.
I don't know, they could have kept Sonny.
Yeah,
Sonny was annoying.
No, but imagine him
Sonny?
and Data having adventures.
I'll get to Sonny later. Let's talk conspiracy, and I'm going to point out something first, in that I remember when we were doing our recording for Coming of Age, that I went on a tear about how it didn't seem like this plotline was going anywhere. It seems to have. It was still stupid, though.
Apparently that was wishful thinking on my part.
Well, yeah, so as this is essentially the sequel to Coming of Age, does it make Coming of Age make any more sense?
I think it makes less sense.
Well, that's right, because that's what I was thinking, too, because, so presumably, as he is the mother creature, Remick would have already had the critter inside of him, I would assume, because
it's very confusing.
Because there's...
But maybe that's why he was all like, I want to come serve on your ship, because he wanted to bug Picard.
But he did, he was a jerk in that episode, but he wasn't a cretin. In this episode, he was a cretin.
It's possible that the mother monster had been in someone else at that point and transferred to Remick because they knew it had access to Quinn, who had begun to rumble them. I mean, it's a stretch, but it's all I got.
My assumption is that it was probably in Remick, may or may not have been in Quinn, but probably was.
But why would Quinn have told him that there was a conspiracy if there was already a bug in him?
You know, Quinn definitely wasn't bugged in Coming of Age.
See, I don't think Remick was either. I don't think it would make sense if they were, because I don't think they'd go to the Enterprise to do any of this shit.
But Quinn knew about...
Quinn knew shit was up.
Yeah, Quinn knew that so the conspiracy had already started.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he was bugged, though, yet.
Okay, so maybe Quinn wasn't.
They probably sent somebody to shut him up, and that's probably why he wound up bugged.
Well, Remick would have been the one.
Unless he wasn't already bugged.
But then who was bugged at that time?
That is an excellent question, and I don't think the writers really thought that part through.
Maybe there's more than one queen. Maybe there's lots of them.
I think they were both bugged, and Quinn's intention at that time was to get Picard back to Earth.
Oh, so he could bug him.
So he could bug him on Earth.
Okay.
And he would have Picard.
Which is why he wanted him to be the commandant of the What's-It. Because then he could bug him once he got him back down on
But then Picard said no and ruined everything.
Ruined his plan, and they weren't ready to bug Picard and just leave him on the ship yet, probably, because people would have noticed. Because they said, people that are around the bugs can figure it out because the bug people don't have their memories.
Yeah.
But then you think he'd still be playing along when he first beamed up to the Enterprise.
What do you mean?
Like, when he beams up separately, Picard is like, good, he's still Quinn. But if Quinn had always been bugged, then
maybe
he
they
wouldn't...
change their plans.
Maybe. It just seems like he'd still have been something. I don't know.
Or maybe Remick was bugged, Quinn was not, and Remick put the idea in Quinn's head, hey, there's a conspiracy going on, we should get Picard on Earth to...
I think you're giving Remick too much...
He's the
Not
brains.
Not Remick, the queen.
She's the brains. Remick's the brawn.
I like that as a general idea, that maybe Remick, the queen through Remick, was getting Quinn to assemble people so it could bug top...
Yeah,
top
sort of like what Data was saying, is that they were putting...
Men.
When Data did his analysis of the orders, and he was like, they've been putting their pieces in place for a while. So maybe that was just another effort to do that.
Well, I'll say this. In my background research on this episode, it wasn't originally going to be parasites that were spreading. It was just going to be a normal conspiracy of just people conspiring things, which Roddenberry said no to because Starfleet can't be evil.
It hasn't... I was going to say, has he not seen Star Trek 6? But it hasn't come out yet. He must hate Star Trek 6.
I think it killed him, actually.
Oh, that's right. Him and Myers had a lot of arguments, didn't they? So he did hate Star Trek 6.
Oh, yeah.
And he literally died after watching it.
Yeah, a rough cut. That's right. We talked about that. What would the conspiracy have been had he not put the kibosh on it? Just like a more I don't know. Militant division of Starfleet?
Well, there was not to spoil too far ahead, but there's actually, I already spoiled this in a blog post, so fuck it. There's a plot in DS9 where an admiral sort of trumps up a threat in an effort to take a military coup and take over the Federation. His heart's in the right place.
His spleen?
Yes.
He's a Vulcan?
But, so I mean, it could have been something like that where they wanted to take over the government.
Yeah, not a great time, though, because, I mean, everything seems pretty copacetic at this point.
Maybe that's the goal, though. Maybe they want to...
De-copacetic?
Yeah, well, everyone's guards down, Who were the threats? The Ferengi?
Anyone can take down the Ferengi.
Yeah.
Yep.
The children can take down the Ferengi.
Whip us?
But yeah, I just don't know how I felt about this one. There was some good... the opening was really good. I liked the opening, the sort of the tension building up, the little game with Picard, the group meeting and all that.
Prove your Picard, answer these questions 3.
Yeah, but then I guess I feel like it all just kind of spirals out of control because bugs.
So many bugs.
Made of Play-Doh.
But they were claymation and it was delightful.
The claymation was delightful.
Actually, technically, it was stop-motion animation. Because claymation is a trademark term.
Really?
By
I didn't know that.
people that made Gumby?
The people that make Gumby.
A pie.
Correct. They
pie?
trademarked the term. So anything else,
Is not.
even stuff that is obviously the same technique, cannot be called claymation.
Why the fuck would they
I learned that from an
copyright that?
animator friend of mine.
Neat.
But
Because
why?
copyright law in this country is broken and people can copyright whatever they want.
But nobody even gives a fuck about Gumby anymore.
Well, at the time they did, though.
Yeah, but they don't now.
Yes, but at the time when they made the copyright...
Okay, but now.
Yeah, that's not the point. You don't make a copyright thinking people might care in 50 years.
Okay, but like, what about Spike and Goo and the Blockheads? Does anybody care about Pokey?
I like Pokey. I like the Blockheads.
Spike was my favorite.
Which one was Spike?
Spike
yellow
was a little
dinosaur.
yellow dinosaur.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, that's not the point. Let's move on to Star Trek.
Oh, do we have to? These episodes were bad.
Yeah, this was an odd thing. Makeup was good though. There were some really good makeup stuff.
Yeah, special effects in this episode were
Remick.
pretty dope.
Yeah, again, I'm surprised they got away with the level.
They were
of-
very worried about it. They thought they would be too graphic for a while, so they brought in the 6-year-old son of somebody on the team and planted him in front of it and made him watch. And he was like, "Yay! You should make a toy like that where Remick's head blows up." And they're like, "Okay, seems fine."
So they were like, let's see if we traumatize this child.
And he was untraumatizable, so...
See, here's the thing, though. Like, that's not a control group. That's one kid. For all they know, that one kid is a sociopath. You know, they needed to bring in, like,
Show this to more and more children and see what happens?
See how many cry and see how many are like, yes, yes.
And put those ones in the special school.
But no, like, seriously,
Keep them
you
the fuck
could,
away from people's
you
heads.
could pretty plainly see spine and rib cage.
Yeah, it was pretty gross.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, of course, remastered, HD, and all that, but I still vaguely feel like when I first watched this years ago,
it was brutal.
you could always kind of see.
This is the most gore Star Trek has ever done.
Yeah, it's impressive. The rest of the episode wasn't, but that was.
Yeah, the rest of the episode was watching Data do his homework.
Fascinating. Yeah, there was a lot of like Data being corrected by people and told to shut up.
Data
Yeah, that
is
was-
not used to being corrected because usually he's right.
This is very much like a return to early season Data, where he would like go on too long and people would like, shop. It is to the point that even the computer was like, shop. I did like that.
I mean, I liked it as a point, as like a little comic relief. In this episode, they probably did it because this episode is so heavy and could use the comic relief, but it still felt a little tedious to me.
Also,
Yeah.
there are some episodes where aphorisms blow his tiny little mind.
Yeah.
And some episodes where he's like, "Oh, well, to use an aphorism, the left hand didn't know what the right hand was jerking."
Jerk.
Good job, Jake.
I too just love how, like, how many times was there a picture of an Excelsior class starship in that shit he was reading?
Well,
like,
there was probably like 10 different slides.
yeah. But, like, the Delta popping up a lot, you could justify by being like, well, these are just Starfleet orders. Maybe they all have that somewhere. But it was like the Excelsior class ship a bunch of times. You saw a Klingon ship and the Klingon symbol, like, once each. Some random starship at least once. But they just kept... like, guys, just text. Just text. You don't need these pictures. Because after a while, it's like, that is the 18th Excel. How many of these do you have?
I would really like to see something on how they did those, basically all the computer screen graphics, like the Excelsior class, and because my guess is that they were all photo, like
With like light behind them, like printed on transparency.
Well, I'm sure that they were filmed separately, probably. Like I don't think they were actually there when they were shooting that, but I'm guessing what they were is negatives. Like they created the artwork, black ink on white.
Yeah.
And then photographed it and used photographic negatives to create the screens themselves.
Probably.
Because there was no way a computer was creating those. Well, I mean, it's possible a computer created those graphics at that time, but I'm guessing they didn't. Because I know, I'm pretty sure most, if not all of the computer displays were hand painted, basically.
Yeah, by Akuda, right?
Yeah, I don't know if he did all of them.
But he designed the, like,
Yeah.
look, I should say.
I'm sure, yeah. Most of them were done by staff, I'm sure. But imagine that work, doing all those fucking things. Oof.
Just for Data to read them in like 0.001 seconds.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, hell, think of the poor bastards that made con and navigation, which almost never appear on screen.
Yeah.
Because they're usually looking at the bridge, so you just see the big fucking beige box they were lovingly planted in.
Yeah. Or like any of the like engineering set with like all those screens. Oof.
Yeah.
Clop.
A lot of work that kind of goes unrecognized.
So, how about that next episode?
Let's see, what else did I have to say? I was gonna say, this would be a great job for Troy. Where's Troy, and why isn't she reading the parasite's brain?
I'm sure there would have been something where the parasites could scramble her brambles.
Scramble her brambles.
Actually, it kind of happened. She's like, someone is hiding something, but I can't tell who.
Yeah, it might be a mealworm.
Oh.
Poor Caitlin. Caitlin did so much screaming during this episode.
Yeah, the worms, man. Oof. So, what do you think behind the scenes? Do you think they call up like there's probably like places in Hollywood you call up if you need bugs. So they called the bug guy and like, yeah, we're gonna need I don't know 4 or 5 bowls worth of bugs. Okay, all right. What do you need them for? Oh, we're gonna have actors eat them. Sure. Okay. All right. I'll have them sent right over.
They wouldn't ask what they're for. They're making a sale.
Also, Remick is a fucking liar many times over. Because he's like, oh, Captain, your dinner's getting cold. His dinner was never cooked. Those worms were alive.
Oh my god.
Maybe they had a chill. You don't know.
What he should have said is, Captain, your dinner is worms.
Oh.
Or something like, you want to get to your dinner while it's still fresh. Or something.
Oh.
I don't know.
Captain, we are the villains.
Captain, I'm sensing that they are the villains.
Shut up, Troy.
I would like to think by the 24th century, though, like, we'll have all gotten over our Western hang-ups and not be freaked out by bowls of bugs.
You throwing shade at me right now?
No, but just like the fact
Do you eat bowls of bugs?
No.
that Picard, like, no, get me wrong, I would be like, ew, as well, because that's how I was raised, but, it's supposed to be the enlightened 24th century.
But here's the thing.
They have fucking replicators.
Yeah.
They don't need to eat fucking worms.
Yeah, but there are other races that do.
But you think the people that are eating worms are doing that because they love worms? I mean, I maybe. I'm not
I suspect
passing
most
judgment.
people
I'm just
who
thinking
eat
like
worms do it because it's the protein source.
yeah, it's a
that
protein
you can
that's
get.
available. I bet if you put out a big steak in front of these guys, they'd be like, "Fuck yeah, no fucking worms tonight, boys. We're eating steak."
Well, you two win this round.
And in the morning, I'm making waffles.
Aw, Sonny could have made waffles with Data.
Oh, let's talk about Grandpa fight choreo
Oh yeah,
with Admiral Quinn, who's super, super strong because of bugs, apparently.
It stimulated his
explained
adrenal
it, yeah, he had
gland,
adrenaline.
which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
He's still got old man bones and muscles.
Yeah, but doesn't adrenaline?
Like, it gives you a rush, but...
I think
But I
there's
think
stories
it also
like people
like stopping cars and shit. Like not like literally, but like lifting a
Like
car off of
Using the
someone's...
brakes of a car.
I think, but here's the thing, though. I think it's not like with adrenaline. I think basically what it does is it turns off
pain.
So
like you break your arms lifting a car,
yeah,
but you don't.
You're gonna
like...
feel like shit in
Later,
20
yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't make it so that you can do what he was doing.
Yeah, you
Which-
can't. Yeah.
Toss Worf like a rag doll.
It occurred to me, for all that, like...
He might have been in pretty good shape. He was a military guy, for all we know.
Vitamins.
Yeah, and the bugs.
I do kind of like the idea, they're all concerned
Centrum
about...
silver.
He always drinks his Ensure.
I kind of like this mental image of like, a scene we didn't see. They're like rushing Riker to the sick bay, and they're getting the unconscious admiral there, and they make sure Worf's okay. Meanwhile, Geordi is like still writhing on the ground because he was thrown through a door. Because they never just say, oh yeah, and also Geordi's back isn't shattered into a million pieces.
And then those
He stood up.
beavers
He
from
was-
Rocco's Modern Life ran in. They're like, hup, 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 hup. They grab the door. Hup, 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 hup. And Geordi's like, no.
Oh,
Jesus Christ. What was that? That was like some fucking
new
angels
one.
with dirty souls. Keep the chain, you filthy animals.
See, I was gonna say they take his visor, but that's what they would take the door. That's exactly what they would do.
Yep.
Oh, that kid was.
But he was up. Like, he was fine.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
right.
that's good.
Am I right?
And Bev was a badass for a change. She just comes in and
Yeah.
starts shooting the thing like fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Pew, pew.
Get him,
Yeah,
Bev.
she was fucking bitches up, as the expression goes.
You had to set the phaser to kill.
Yeah.
Did she set it to kill Quinn?
That's what she said.
She must have had.
So-
But then he wasn't dead.
Well, because you were saying, like, normal level doesn't work for some reason because it's...
So does that
adrenaline.
mean...
I
does
would
that
posit
mean-
she didn't even try the stun setting. She was just like...
I mean, she was down walking down the hall. She sees Geordi flying through the door. She's like, "Send it to kill."
So does this mean if that was set to kill, does that mean the other admirals and shit that were eating bugs are okay now?
They were more dead than Quinn.
How dead do you have to be to be dead?
Well, because Quinn got shot
Many times by Bev.
by Bev, but his bug stayed in, meaning he was still alive. The other ones they shot, and the bugs crawled out, meaning that the host had died.
Oh,
Is that what that meant?
That's my interpretation of it, because the bug needed a host.
Wait, where did the bug... Wait, so Quinn makes a full recovery because the mother bug is dead.
Yeah.
Where did his bug go?
They probably
is it still
extracted it.
there?
Crawled out his butthole.
Probably extracted it.
Speaking of butthole...
Whoa.
What?
Bronze eye?
That I pointed out during the episode that while that one old admiral was running away, they like shot him and he fell over. But because of like the way the actor fell and the way the like phaser beams had been going, they spent an inordinately long time shooting him square on his butt cheeks. It's amazing.
Nice.
And then Remick explodes like he looked at the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
So awful.
We have our
Episode is
first.
traumatizing.
We have our first mention of an ambassador class ship. We didn't
Yeah.
see it on screen.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we did see
It
it,
was
on
exploded.
screen.
Yes.
In lots of pieces.
We saw it in enough pieces so that we don't have to worry about the design when we make it later. That is a good ship.
Lollipop. Ah!
The internet tells me that there are some DS9 novels that reveal that the parasites are actually a mutated Trill symbiote,
Oh, for God's sake.
and that they've been fighting a long secret war with the Trill for however long.
What's a
That's
Trill?
stupid.
The Trill is a type of creature that we'll meet in DS9.
Great.
They similarly have like little bugs inside of them, but it's a willing symbiotic relationship, not an unwilling.
But also-
So it made me think of the Animorphs.
Also, in DS9, the symbiont, as they say.
Oh, I had it just spelled symbiote and when I saw it on the internet. So cut that.
Either way, the symbionts, they don't like crawl in through your mouth. There's like Trill have like a pocket, like a kangaroo,
Like a kangaroo!
that the symbiont goes into.
Is there a funny little nipple in that pouch?
There's something that it attaches to.
Do you guys remember the Animorphs? The
Never
book
read
series?
it.
Yeah.
I remember that it existed.
There was
So-
a brief TV series too.
Yeah, I've seen like one episode. It was pretty bad. But the big bad evil that they're fighting is like a brain slug that ties itself around your brainstem.
I don't
and
even remember
controls
there
their
being
hosts.
a big bad evil. I remember
Yeah,
just
there's
being
big
like,
bads.
we can turn into
That's-
animals, and this is cool.
Yeah,
Ooh, maybe these are the same bugs that took over
SETI Alpha 5.
SETI Alpha 5, yeah.
No, there we
They
go.
were
They
related-
looked the same. They
they
had the
look-
same
yeah.
weird pincer thing.
They did look
These were
similar.
much bigger and stop
Pinker.
motion,
And
though, not
pinker.
tiny puppets.
Mm.
And pinker, yes.
Yeah, very.
But maybe
big.
these are like relatives.
Maybe.
Cousins.
As we know, if you spread your seed all over the universe, everyone's related.
So we got City Alpha 5 bugs in this one and Frozen people in the next one. Put the
That's
two
true.
together, it is Wrath of Khan.
I am very surprised Picard didn't go all, something very similar to this happened 100 years ago.
I remember it explicitly from.
Or no, yeah, it
From
would actually
TOS.
be Riker being like, I'm going to look this up in the library.
I remember something about someone showering with their clothes on.
Data would just know.
So
Yeah, so the neutral zone.
that episode was fucking terrible.
Well, it's our first significant, substantial on-screen appearance of Mark Alamo.
Yay!
Which I like.
Which Romulan was he?
He was the not shitty actor one.
Okay.
He was Tebak.
The one on the left or the right?
The one on our left.
The one who had his hands
Yes,
folded.
our
up.
left.
The one with the round face, not the one with the long face.
Yeah, the long face guy was very impressive and alien looking, and they both had huge hands.
But he sounded like a robot, so...
Well, that's fine. I was still kind of half asleep.
But yeah, no, that was a thought. I was surprised there were no mentions of, Botany Bay or anything like that.
Oh, I was gonna say mentions of Gul Dukat and how you'll be him later.
Yeah.
That'd be weird.
How did they know?
So, here's my problem with this fucking mess of an episode.
Well, we've only got another half hour, Chris.
It's called the Neutral Zone. It's all this stuff about, oh boy, here come the Romulans. Something about our outpost. Zippity-doo-do. No, actually, it's mostly about these three assholes from the 20th century.
Yeah, this is an episode. I know last week we were talking about episodes having dueling plots in the middle of the same episode. This one, it was really unfocused.
It was terribly unfocused.
And everything seemed extraneous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that, like, I know last week we had that writer's strike that affected one of the episodes. This one was affected even more.
Clearly.
Maurice Hurley wrote this episode in
Oh.
a day and a half.
Oh,
Because
that explains everything.
Because then writer's strike, and also it was intended to be a 2-part episode.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah, so they basically had to chop it into one, cut off the tail end, which would have, and this is going to spoil everything. So Caitlin, hide your ears. It was going to introduce the Borg.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's pretty. That's pretty obvious later, and eventually we can get into my fan theory about why the Borg were doing it.
Oh.
But anyway.
Also, the Borg would have been insect creatures instead of machine creatures, but that's beside the point.
Would they have been related to the bugs from Conspiracy?
I hope so, because that would have been useful for the continuity.
Yeah. They work better as machine people.
Yeah,
They do, and the makeup ones.
the real Borg are pretty cool.
I like the Borg,
If they
but,
were insects,
but
that
it
would've
means
been
we're
fun.
not going to get to them for a while.
If they're insects, they just would have been Tholians.
If this was the last episode of the season, where would the 2-parter part have gone? The second part.
First episode of the next season.
Well, then he would have had fucking time to write it because he'd had the whole break.
Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he didn't want to set up a 2-parter.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Now I'm confused. Now I've confused myself.
But either way,
What a disappointing way to end the season.
Yeah.
I mean, here's my guess on this episode, knowing what you just said. Maurice Hurley was like, I want to write an episode about humans from the 20th century visiting the Enterprise, because that would be funny and like the type of shit I like. And then somebody else was like, can we put in like some sci-fi shit too? Like some Star Trek shit, like have some Romulans? And there's like, yeah, sure, whatever. That's my guess. Like, it definitely feels like 2 stories bolted together.
It feels like both stories are afterthoughts somehow.
Yeah, which is
special.
fascinating.
Yeah.
That takes some real skill, Maurice. Oh yeah, I promised this ages ago. I hate the Romulan makeup.
Oh.
I
We don't get a really good look at it yet.
know, but it started already, and I know where it's going, and here's why I hate the Romulan makeup. And normally, I don't care about aesthetic reboots in Star Trek. People are like, the Klingons look dumb in Discovery. Whatever. Things change, makeup gets better, tech gets better, just shut up. The one reason I let myself get annoyed about the Romulan makeup is because it actually directly contradicts the Romulans.
How so?
The whole point, the whole reason they were so freaked out by the Romulans when they first saw them.
Because they look just like Vulcans.
Exactly.
Spock might be a Romulan.
Like Vulcans. Now,
Secret sleeper Romulan.
Romulans suddenly have this very distinctive V-shaped dent in their head.
But this is explained because they were interbreeding with Remans for the last 100 years.
And because they don't wear seatbelts and keep smacking their heads into their dashboard.
That's the thing. It's like, it's only been, less than a century. Evolution doesn't work that fast.
But he didn't say evolution. He said breeding.
Well, yeah, but he's just being a wiseacre because
Wait,
Remans look like Nosferatu.
Wait, so they weren't doing that?
No.
Oh.
The Remans are like a slave race.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That, again, literally, the
I was
makeup
gonna
is...
say, but like, if they were interbreeding with someone else, it could have shown up. But if it was just straight evolution, because I mean, like...
Yeah, no, it's the one aesthetic reboot in Star Trek that bugs the fuck out of me. Because, like, again, the whole thing was they look...
It bugs you? Does it feel like a conspiracy?
Oh, shit.
Let me see the back of your head.
Oh.
I need a haircut.
Oh, Gel's back there.
But yeah, that's why it bothers me. That's why it's the one random, like, makeup thing they do where I'm just like, nope, I'm gonna be one of those assholes.
The makeup this whole episode was weird, though.
It was
God,
terrible.
There's a lot
so
of
much
bad
blush.
makeup.
Too much blush.
Well, and Data's like...
His eyebrows looked wrong.
Well, no, that his neck was getting, like, you could see his real skin tone.
you gotta blend that neck!
Yeah, they didn't blend the neck. Bev had way too much blush in that one scene. Worf's lips were
Picard
very
had some
pink
weird
at one point.
shit. Picard had some weird, like, splotchy contour shit going on, too. I don't know if it was blush or bronzer or
Yeah, it was terrible.
something.
Everyone looked bad.
But it wasn't that episode. Maybe it was last week when the folks had really good contour. I can't remember what day, which episode it was, but
Yeah, the last episode, won an Emmy for makeup. This episode,
They didn't. They stopped trying.
they
They
took
let-
the Emmy back.
they let the intern do it that day.
It really did look like someone who just was new.
Yeah.
Like really green. I mean, you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, but you don't let that person go unsupervised in an episode of a TV show.
Maybe someone was sick.
God.
Maybe the supervisor was sick. Maybe all the makeup crew got the runs except for this one. This one guy. The person who did the makeup that week wasn't even a makeup artist. It was a janitor. So really, considering they did
the whole
pretty
team
good.
had the shits.
Wiped out by
It was Maurice Hurley. He did the makeup.
Maritzaria.
And wrote the episode, and directed it, and
Starred
as all the characters.
everybody. The
So,
whole crew.
The episode was mostly terrible, but I did enjoy, as I sort of talked about earlier, I think, anytime Data and Sunny were interacting, I thought was just delightful.
Yeah, they should basically have a spin-off.
Although
I don't know, I couldn't
Sonny
stand
is pretty
Sonny.
obnoxious. Yeah, his stupid, I'm gonna throw in some weird slang that nobody
that
has ever
was-
said ever.
That was a bit much, but the way those two worked off each other was just amusing.
You don't
When-
think people say swimming in their soup often?
I mean, I'm going to try to work it into my lexicon
Yes.
now.
When he went to Bev, was he asking her for drugs? What
Yes.
was he doing?
He
Yes.
was looking for some uppers and some downers.
Oh dear.
just were like,
We
that's
just
a replicator,
we just
bozo.
had what symbiosis where you say don't do fucking drugs, kids.
Well, yeah, but he's from the Dark Ages.
Also, he's a musician, you know?
Yeah.
These guys, they're
They're all
doing
drug addicts.
Yeah,
But like
you
you
can just
said,
plop them in
they've
the
got a fucking
future.
replicator. Just tell the
Yeah.
fucking machine you want some...
Now I have
Cocaine.
some angel dust, PCP.
No, he's a musician. It's probably heroin.
I don't know, but he's a southerner, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
He's already relaxed.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you know, here's something I was thinking about these people. They were dead,
Yep.
and they...
They cryoed them after they were dead.
Right.
That
They
makes
didn't
sense.
even. One of them didn't even know this was an option, which
Yep,
is
no.
terrifying.
The girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The woman, rather.
She's
So-
like, "Fuck! I'm alive. I died. Everyone else is dead, and I'm in the future.
Oh,
God damn it!
Great,
I'm gonna
great.
cry on Troy."
Great grandson is still alive and looks a lot like my husband.
Oh no!
Oh my.
No, she's going to cry on Picard, who's going to go, "Oh, I can't handle it. Troy!"
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
It was
But-
very
but
in
pretty
character for
funny.
him. She's like, "Oh." And then the awkward touching her shoulder, like, "This is what people do, right?"
There.
There. How now, brown
cow.
And then he just goes out in the hall and spies Troy and is like, Troy, take care of it.
He actually, like, flings her through a door in his desperation.
And the beavers come out, hup, 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 grab the door, hup, 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 hup. Yeah, no, also not a great episode. No. I don't know, I just...
Of the two, Conspiracy was the better one?
The Romulans are coming back.
We're
Oh
back,
god,
bitches.
that line, like, "We're back." From what? What the fuck, you? We're back. It like my shiny metal ass.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's...
More singing, eh?
It's the same
Oh,
song
I enjoyed this.
every
I
year.
enjoyed this. Worf has never seen a door before.
Oh yeah, or at least yeah.
One that doesn't
Well,
open
yeah,
automatically.
He's never seen
for
one that had a...
Yeah, but surely they must have seen doors with actual levers. Like, what if the ship powers down? They can't get
Also,
through doors?
sometimes doors are locked.
Well, that was like an old-timey fridge latch, too.
Yeah.
And I've seen people struggle with those even today.
Stupid people, though?
Well, yes.
Okay, so...
Yeah. But Worf,
the type of people that eat Tide Pods...
the type of people that eat gah, the type of people that are Worf,
Oh, poor Worf. He's not dumb. He's just...
Klingon.
Yeah.
Although
That's
this was the start of a trope. Maybe not. Yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
this
it was. If you can take out Worf.
Well, that was Conspiracy, but then there's also the Worf suggests something to be immediately shut down.
Oh, what did he suggest?
When
this
he's like,
episode?
we should
Go to Red Alert.
Go to Red
Battle
Alert,
stations
and
right
Picard's
away.
like, no.
Let's
And-
go to Yellow Alert.
And then
Which
later,
literally means
Worf's like,
nothing.
we should shoot them now while they're defenseless, and Picard's like, no. Like, there's two things that Worf really becomes useful for in this show, and that's being thrown around like a rag doll by stronger aliens, and two, being shut down by Picard.
I bet you
For
they
doing
wouldn't.
his job well.
They wouldn't
Yes.
do any of this to Tasha. Tasha,
Captain-
they might listen to.
Captain, we probably shouldn't steer our ship into that sun. Shut up, Worf. What do you think, number one? Get the fuck out of here.
But it is nice, I don't know. I think, as much as Tasha's absence from the show is kind of a bummer right now, it is evident that Michael Dorn is really able to do more as an actor. And I don't know.
Even though his character is kind of doing less, because they keep shutting him down.
No, his character is, but he's developing a character, and he hadn't really been able to do that to this point. And I think
I'd agree with that.
I mean, he'll become a fan favorite character before long.
Yeah, but Tasha Yar could have too if they would have written her to have a character. That's the thing that's frustrating.
But the thing is, like, she was written. She had more character than a lot of the other people on the show.
Yeah, but her
Certainly more
character
than
was
Geordi.
like, I'm the product of sexual abuse.
Well, yeah.
And that was her whole character.
But at least they wrote some backstory for her.
I guess.
Where's Geordi from? Where's we know where Data's
Riker.
from. That's true, yeah.
The only thing
really,
we know-
Geordi just gets the shaft.
We know where Troy's from, too.
Yeah.
We met her mom.
Actually, we know nothing about Riker except that he used to bang Troy. That's the only thing we still know about Riker.
Yeah,
That's all we need to know.
He doesn't have a beard yet.
I actually kind of like him being defined by his relationship to a woman. We know more about her background than his, and I kind of like it.
Her background is she has an overbearing, insane mother.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Major
Yikes.
Barrett.
Major Barrett.
Anyway, getting back to this episode.
Ground control to Major Barrett.
Oh yeah, and of course, unlike Worf not being able to open a door, every other door in the
She's calling
Enterprise...
Dwarf?
Dwarf.
Dwarf couldn't open the door.
My axe.
They fucking Christ. The fucking cryo people aren't locked in anywhere and they just can wander around and access the bridge.
Yeah.
Well, Picard even explains it, sort of, lampshades this whole thing by being like, in the future, we don't need this because we're not
Worst
babies.
Picard accent I've heard yet.
Yeah,
I don't know.
am Picard. How are
Certainly
you? I am Picard. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
This is Captain Picard of the Starship Enterprise.
Oui, madame.
That started off as your Chekhov.
It was supposed to be Chekhov,
Okay.
and then it flew off the handles.
I wish Captain Picard had a French accent.
How you say...
Can you imagine
if he was fucking French?
if he had a French accent and he was dealing with that stockbroker guy?
How you say, make it so? Earl
Everybody
Grey,
just will-
hot.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't have Earl Grey. Give me a cigarette and a long holder.
Oh,
the
God.
French.
Lol.
Yes,
Anything else from this shit pile of an episode?
Yes, once Jake stops talking.
Picard.
Picard.
I am Jean-Luc Picard.
And of course, it was specified somewhere in the teleplay that Wesley was the one who replicated the guitar for Sonny. Because, fuck you.
Because he's desperate to make friends.
Oh.
But that would have taken away from the Sonny and Data thing.
They should have touched dicks.
No, I found Sonny way too annoying.
You know, if Wesley was on the design the guitar, like, he was sitting there all day coloring it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, scanning it into the computer.
Yeah.
And cleaning it up in Photoshop.
Good for him. See, what I appreciate, I mean, he's written completely ridiculous, but I appreciate that he was the one person who was like, alright.
It's because he's high.
We don't know. All we saw him really drink is a martini.
I mean, because business guy...
The best martini he's ever had.
Business guy's an idiot. Because he's just sure that all these things will
Yeah.
still exist in 3
My lawyer's firm is obviously still here, and I'm owed a conversation.
There's businesses that have been around
Yeah, but
for
I'm just...
thousands of years. More than 1,000 years, I should say.
I just still, like... I just was waiting, because there's
More
one
than
moment...
1,000 years? Can you name one?
I can't name one offhand, but like the world's oldest...
1,000 years,
The
though?
world's oldest continually operating business is some Japanese construction company that's been around since like 800.
Hot fucking shit. Alright, I withdraw my whatever.
Well, this
Yeah.
guy's not in the construction business, so...
But there was one moment where Picard was looking kind of smug, where I thought he was finally just going to say, yes, but we had World War III, you see. Pretty much everything destroyed. And just crush that guy.
We don't know how much was destroyed.
I mean, shit seemed pretty bad.
Yeah, but we were looking at Montana in that movie.
Oh, I was thinking of Encounter at Farpoint.
That was World War III?
That was immediately post-World War III. It was post-nuclear horror.
What?
What the fuck are you talking about?
The court that Q created.
Oh, yeah, but they had a court system. That's saying something.
Yeah, and they killed all the lawyers, literally. Which means any firm that exists in the 24th century was founded after that point.
So what you're saying is post-World War III is basically your paradise because you finally get the revolution you wanted.
Yikes.
You're not disagreeing.
Getting closer every day.
Yeah, there's no more government, guys. Speaking of no more government, there's also no more season 1.
Good segue,
Yeah.
Caitlin. Thanks.
Do we want to talk about what we liked and what we hated this season, or does anybody else have any more prescient points about whatever the fuck garbage we watched this week?
I was way off. The company that I was thinking of, Congo Gumi, founded in 578.
Wow.
Whoa.
Fuck me.
Good for
That's
them.
amazing.
Yeah.
So they're coming up on, their 1500th anniversary?
Yeah.
Jesus, that's fucking crazy.
I hope I'm here for it.
It was run by the same family all that time, too.
Holy shit, that's really impressive.
Check it out. en.wikipedia.org. Search for list of oldest companies. And there's a whole list, and there's some cool shit.
That's cool.
Most of the oldest ones are Japanese.
We should post a link. That makes sense. But I feel like they've been around for a long time. We've got lots of history about Japan and...
Well, and somewhat less upheaval in the way we've had in other, like...
Well, because they're very, like, sort of segregated. Like, not segregated, but they...
Isolated.
Isolated, yes. That's a word for what I meant.
But, less people charging in and fucking with their stees.
Top 3 and bottom 3s?
Yeah,
so... we're doing a new thing.
Yeah, in a break from previous series, because there's so much TNG as compared to TOS or TAS.
And because we have literally no plan.
We figured we're going to do a top and bottom 3 for each season with TNG, so that when we're doing our top and bottom 5, at the end of it, we'll be a little better prepared. So
I don't know. I feel like I'm going to swap out ones when I get to our final top and bottom that I never mentioned before.
Yeah, I was saying to Jake, like, I feel like maybe some of our bottoms from right now will make it all the way to the end. But none of the tops.
One of mine definitely will, for sure.
Yeah. So, do we want to start with bottoms and then end on a positive note with tops?
Bottoms
I
up.
don't fucking care.
All right, bottoms up then, as Jake said. Who would like to start?
I'll start.
Ames.
Jake will start.
All right, so my worst episodes, in no particular order.
No, it's going to stay. It's going to stay.
The 3 worst episodes of this season, in my estimation, are Code of Honor, Justice, and Conspiracy.
Conspiracy, really?
Yes.
Wow, I'm also
Interesting.
surprised.
Every one of those surprised me about you.
Really?
Yeah.
Code of Honor doesn't.
I
Actually, Code of Honor surprised me too, because I remember you defending Code of Honor when we watched it.
I mean, I'll defend something. I still think it sucks.
Contrary.
I even defend Justice to some extent.
I actually liked Justice. I didn't hate Justice.
I dislike Justice.
No, I assumed you hated Neutral Zone more than Conspiracy.
No, I don't mind. I didn't mind Neutral Zone all that much, actually.
Huh.
It wasn't great, but not the worst.
No, you.
No, go ahead.
No, you.
No, you.
Why?
No, why not?
I don't want to.
Okay.
I'll
guys.
go.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Done.
Option.
Bottom 3 in no particular random order. Angel 1. Fuck
Ooh.
Angel 1. It was so fucking bad. Every moment.
Oh, no, I liked Angel 1.
Angelone?
No, you didn't.
Didn't I?
No.
Wasn't that the one with the women?
Yes.
The women!
The women! Yeah.
Yeah, but then all they needed was Riker to tell them how to feel.
Oh, yeah, I forgot they just needed men. Fuck Angel 1. Go ahead.
Too short a season.
Oh, yeah, that's
Really.
Which one was that?
Jameson.
That was-
Jameson.
Oh, yeah,
He's aging
that
back.
one's
really
bad.
bad age
That one's
makeup.
bad.
His hot wife.
Yeah, and his fucking long, pointless, drawn-out death nonsense. And this one's surprising because I'm debating. I was debating whether or not to keep this one, but I'm gonna keep it anyway because fuck the Ferengi Last Outpost.
Oh,
That's a bad
shit.
episode. Yeah,
That's pretty bad. Yeah, those are all deserving to be there.
Yeah, no, they're all pretty fucking terrible. My bottom 3, in particular order, from least worst to worst. Angel 1, because if that's apartheid, I'll eat my hat. The Neutral Zone.
Yeah, I was thinking about swapping that one in.
Code of Honor.
I actually think I have to switch one of mine, too.
Why? Is it because of something we said?
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't matter.
No.
This is about you, Caitlin.
No,
not
I
us.
know, but I think it was worse than this, and I just remember hating this one because I don't know. Code of Honor was the worst.
I disagree, but
really didn't like Skin of Evil. And I was going to say Naked Now, but I'm going to change it to Neutral Zone, because fuck that shit.
What was Naked Now doing on that list?
Naked Now was almost on my list.
Naked Now was bad. It was just, it wasn't, I guess, like, it wasn't even so bad, but I was, like, offended by its being completely unoriginal.
Also, the fact that all the girls just wanted dick.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
that being... Like, all the guys...
that was the one part I could relate to, but you're right.
all the guys went crazy in different ways, but all the women wanted the D.
See, I give Naked Now a pass because Data was so sexy in it.
That's
Fair
true.
enough.
All right.
Tops?
Tops! Who's on top?
What's on
First.
second?
All right, so again, in no particular order, Symbiosis.
Oh, Caitlin liked that one.
Yeah.
I think you were almost going to put it on your top list.
Well,
I
I did.
might have.
Well,
Who
I did
knows?
put it on my top
We'll
list.
never know until we...
Oh, wait, we're on tops. Jesus fucking Christ. Youch. I thought we were doing bottoms again.
Yep, more bottoms. That's how bad this was. We didn't do a top 3 and bottom 3. We just did a bottom 3
Look,
and a bottom 3.
A bottom three and
found-
a bottom threer.
We found, not redeeming qualities, but we came up with good lists of good for TAS.
Yeah.
This was better than TAS.
Yes, I will agree with that. Yeah, Symbiosis is one of those episodes. It has a fatal flaw, which is the PSA in the middle, but I still think it's a decent episode.
The rest of it's good.
Well, and I loved the conversation that we were able to spark
Yeah,
about
we
it.
had-
Like, I thought it was
we talked-
actually, there was a lot of, like, stuff under the surface that
Yeah.
made it, to me, like anyway, yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
really
agree.
liked it, so.
Next is 11001001. Again,
a fun
I
one.
just thought it was a good episode.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. And then my the last one, again, these aren't in order, but I guess we'll do a drum roll anyway. Where No One Has Gone Before.
Which one was that again?
That was with the Traveler. And
Yeah, The Traveler. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know. They did say you have to pay attention to West.
Yeah.
That's true. There was some Wesley action.
Again, fatal flaw.
Wait, Wesley, that was the episode where Wesley's wearing the worst sweater from my list, too.
That's why it's on the top of this list.
What?
Sweaters.
Extra points for the bad sweater. Your turn.
Oh, we do the same order. Is that what
Yeah,
we're
I
doing?
reckon.
Cool. Well, my list, my top 3 list, now that I remember what list we're reading from, Encounter at Farpoint.
Ooh.
I
That's
really
the first
liked it.
one, right?
That was the first one
Groppler.
Q,
because...
who you love. With Q, whom
With
you
Q,
love.
whom I love, and with Jellyfish, whom I love.
Groppler's Zorn.
Well, Grappler's Horn is fine, but whatever. We'll Always Have Paris, I really liked.
Look at you.
Okay.
Look at me. Look at me.
Really?
And 11001001. I
Wow.
really liked.
All right, my top 3 from in order of two best. Number 3, might get some stick for this. Coming of Age.
That was almost on my list.
On your top list?
Yeah.
Why?
It's a good episode, man.
Yeah, I liked the Academy stuff,
Okay.
and even though the ultimate result of the conspiracy stuff was
Stupid.
fucking awful, those sequences were well done.
Yeah, that was almost on mine. I like that.
Number 2, Heart of Glory,
Oh, I was thinking of including
Heart of-
Heart of
because
Glory.
I like me some crazy Klingon hijinks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then again, half the episode is playing with Geordi's new drone.
Oh,
And
yeah.
also... yeah.
And number 1, drumroll please, Symbiosis.
Hot diggity damn. Even you liked Symbiosis.
Yeah, that was a damn good. I mean, again, aside from the PSA scene, the episode itself was good, the conversation was good, and a lot of credit to Merrick Buttrick's performance.
Yeah.
He was fine.
We don't speak ill of the dead, okay?
I'm not speaking ill of the dead.
We don't speak ill of the dead. No one listened to that episode again, because I spent a long time ragging on Ronald and...
Ragging on Reagan's.
Fucking... What's her damn name?
Nancy.
Nancy Reagan.
Yep.
Nancy. So, I really liked Haven. I don't really remember why, but I really liked Haven.
Which one was Haven?
I don't even remember. I wrote it down. I don't remember. Which one was Haven? Oh no! Haven was Crazy Majel Barrett and fucking
And
Wyatt
Wyatt Dirk.
Wyatt Dirk.
Oh, that's true. That one had that plague ship that was kind of cool.
I liked it. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of sweet and I don't know. I liked it.
I got to be sad.
She was like, I sense someone is sad. Oh, it's me.
Dear fucking diary.
Dear
I said.
fucking diary.
Who senses the censor?
Oh.
Data lore.
Data lore!
Because 2 datas are better than 1, even if one of them is evil and twitchy. And,
But it will always have Paris. 3 datas are better than that.
I know, but they were only on screen for like 8 seconds. Symbiosis.
Whoa.
Dang.
I loved Symbiosis. I really loved it. I
Wow.
loved, and again, the conversation and like the, I don't know. And the thing is,
Remember.
even like, fuck Nancy Reagan, sure. It's still a good message.
Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a fine message. They just overdid it in that one
They
scene.
did. I'm just saying, like. Plus, like I said, it made me feel really clever. Both because I knew what it was pretty early on, and because then we had this great like conversation about like what could they really be saying, and were they really saying those things? We might never know. But I just really like it felt like one of the best conversations we've had about an episode and about like the below the surface level of like anything we've really discussed. And I don't know, I really liked it for that reason. I liked that
I don't
it
know.
sort of
Usually
felt.
we talk about poop and asses.
I know.
It was nice not to for once.
Poop and asses make good glasses. So
that's true.
just out of curiosity, I'm going to look here and see what IMDb thinks about
Symbiosis?
but just about the episodes in general. So looking at this right now, it looks like just cursory glance. The lowest ranked episode of the season on IMDb is
Gotta be Code of Honor.
Code of Honor.
Nice.
You guessed it, lady.
I don't think it's that bad.
Oh yeah, 5.2 out of 10. The next lowest one is Angel 1. 5.7.
Yep.
They don't need no man.
And then to round out the bottom
But actually
3.
Wait. Conspiracy.
Nope. With an even 6 is Justice.
Oh.
So now we'll do the top. So hold on, I gotta figure this one out. This I'm just reading off my screen. I don't actually have this list sorted, so bear with me. It looks like it's going to be... Okay, the third best episode of the season, according to IMDb, is 11001001.
What was the rating?
7.5. Oh, I'm sorry. I got it wrong. That was a fourth best.
No!
Because I missed one. All right, so now the actual third best is Where No One Has Gone Before.
Okay.
Which is one you picked, right, Chris? No,
Jake.
Jake? Oh, okay.
The second best is Data Lore.
Nice.
And the best episode of the season,
Symbiosis!
the only episode in the 8s with an 8.1
Whoa.
rating is
Symbiosis!
Conspiracy.
No!
Once again proving that IMDb raters know nothing.
Yep.
Jon Snow.
I'm
We
sorry.
should start rating on IMDb so we can be the ones who know something.
Well, no, but see, their system is...
Conspiracy?
Yeah.
I mean,
Set a give?
they probably really liked it when the guy's head exploded, and that's all they can
Who's
think
rating
of.
these things? 6-year-olds?
So the
Yes.
thing is,
Oh.
I'm not going to go into it, but the IMDb rating system is bizarre and shrouded in mystery.
It's better
and
than the Rotten Tomatoes system.
Some individuals' ratings are weighted more than others, but they don't
Really?
reveal how they decide whose is done that way.
Sounds like Electoral College almost.
Yeah, it's kind of bullshit, so, you know.
Fucking Florida, man.
Just for your reference, Symbiosis is pretty much in the middle with a 6.9. 69. Yeah. Which is tied with Skin of Evil.
What?
Eh,
Skin of
sorry.
Evil with Symbiosis? That's not right!
And Encounter at Farpoint is also a 6.9.
No, it's not. That's wrong.
Yeah.
Oh.
We have a bone to pick with you, IMDb rating public.
You're idiots.
Yeah.
They can't see that.
Well,
I made a come at me gesture.
You'll be happy to know that according to IMDb, the next episode we'll watch is officially the second worst episode we've seen. It is ranked higher than the
Code of Honor.
Code of Honor,
But just barely?
but lower than everything else.
Wow, that's starting off strong then.
Yep.
What
Looking
are we
forward to
watching
it.
next week, Jake?
Oh, fancy you should ask.
Jake us out.
I'll Jake us
No.
out.
Oh my god, this
Cut
has
it out.
gone far enough.
What on earth is he doing?
There it is.
Peter means rock.
Oh.
We'll be dealing with some weird, uncomfortable shit in Season 2's premiere episode, The Child, which involves a weird pregnancy, if I recall.
I'm uncomfortable.
And we meet the Dr. Pulaski for the first time, so that'll be nice.
I'm uncomfortable.
And then I believe we'll have a slightly better time in Where Silence Has Lease, the second episode of Season 2.
Where there is not a weird pregnancy.
I'm not aware of a weird... There might be, for all we know.
Oh, fair enough.
But yeah, so those will be coming up next week. We're excited. We made it through the first season.
Look at that.
TNG.
Against all the odds.
We have another season, which I feel like is generally regarded by fans to be on the weaker side, comparatively. But season 3, promise, gets a lot better.
See, this is
And
what
the
I love
uniforms
about...
get a lot better.
This is what I love about people who love shows. It's like, oh yeah, Star Trek Next Gen, it's like the best Star Trek. Well, the first 2 seasons suck. The same thing with Buffy, right? Well,
The first,
the
5 or 8
2
seasons
to
suck.
7 seasons are bad, but if you just stick to it, you'll see. You'll
I think
love
when we
it.
started this thing out, I was pretty sure that TNG was going to be my favorite show. I think...
Now it's TAS.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I'm thinking... Because I recently did a full rewatch on my own of DS9. DS9 is by far the more consistent show compared to TNG.
Ooh, people
Although
are
from
going to have
what
a bone to pick. People don't love
I mean, no,
DS9.
I mean, here's the thing. I think that TNG...
TNG's highs are higher.
Yeah,
though.
exactly. TNG has some really great episodes. And I would say that, the highs of TNG... there are more of than super high points, like particular episodes of DS9 that are really, really, really good. But I would just say overall, on average, like if you were to average out all the episodes, I think DS9 would probably match, if not surpass, TNG. But we'll find out when we get there.
I will
It won't
say
be for some time, but
the first season of this was not as bad as I was expecting based on its reputation or my attempted rewatch a couple of years ago. It's just those first, 5 to 10 episodes. You just got to get through them.
yeah. And here's
Because there's some decent-ish stuff in here.
the other thing is, think of where we've been. We've been through TOS.
How like a serpent's
We've been
tooth.
through How Like a Serpent's Tooth.
I think it's how sharper than the serpent's tooth.
Whatever.
Whatever.
We've been through the animated series.
But but also season 3 of the original series wasn't as bad as people made it sound.
No.
either.
No, it's true.
Series
But
3,
I
I
think-
think actually had more tops than
For
bottoms
us,
for all of
yeah.
us.
Yeah, I would say
Actually, I did a chart, and that's not true. Season 1 was the best by our chart.
we've survived the first season. It
Woo!
wasn't as bad as we feared.
No.
And the best is yet to come.
Although the uniforms are fucking garbage.
Yeah, and those will change out in the third season as well.
I know. I'm excited.
Not as much bulge as you'd think, though.
Yeah, considering the spandex.
It just means there's not as much dick as you expected, that's all.
I don't know. There's been a lot of going on.
Riker's been stuffing. So, again, next week we will do The Child and Where Silence Has Lease, Season 2. Woo. This has been A Star to Steer Her By. You can find our podcast on podcloud.com. What?
Podclown.
SoundCloud.
SoundClown.
SoundPod.
Sad clown.
SoundCloud.
Podclods.
SoundCloud. Shit. Why would they call it that? It's impossible to say.
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud. Shit. SoundCloud.
Yeah, there it is.
All right. Well, you can find us on SoundCloud.com. And
/podclod.
/Star to Steer By. You can also find us on Google Music Podcasts and iTunes, Apple Podcasts,
Apple.
iPodcasts,
iClown.
Talkcasts.
Top Cats Podcasts.
Topcats, yeah.
Top Cats
He's the
Podcasts.
leader of the...
Of course, if you do
McGillagorilla.com.
find us and you like us, do please go ahead, give us a rating and a review. Recommend us to a friend or an enemy, or leave. Oh, here's a cool idea. Here's a cool hipster idea for you hipsters out there. Put us onto a cassette tape, and then write like indie underground hip hop, and leave the tape in a club, in the bathroom at a club. With like cocaine residue on the jewel case.
There's a seal in the house. That was a pelican noise. What just happened?
Suffocating.
We actually need this podcast on tape now. I require a cassette tape with this
Can
podcast
it say indie
on.
underground hip hop on it?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Or like Super Awesome Mix 3.
Nice. So do that, leave us in the club, and someone will pick us up and be tricked into listening to us nerds. I will have my revenge.
Or they'll just sample us and put us into actual indie underground hip-hop.
That would be even
That's true.
better.
Yeah, that would be better. It would just be touch dicks, brown eye.
And then various compilations of Chris laughing.
Touch dicks. Touch dicks, brown eye. Touch dicks, brown eye.
Jacob.
Town.
Peter
Brown
means
eye.
rock.
Anyone that did only start listening with TNG has no idea why we keep saying things about Finney and Peter meaning rock, and I think that's great.
Sorry, friends.
No, I'm not sorry.
Sorry, new friends.
Go back and listen to the
go back
beginning,
and
you
listen. I'm
bastards.
sorry. Listen, new friends, don't listen to them. I'm sorry. You and I'm getting real close to you right now. That's fine.
Woo!
You
That's too
listen.
close.
Oh, sorry, Ames.
You can also find us on Facebook.com. Just search for A Star to Steer Her By. We're also broadcasting on Twitter.com.
And you can find us on MySpaceface.com.
Myface.space.
MyFace.space.com.
And on
And on
Tumblr.
Tumblr.
Someone else's face.
Twatter.com.
We're SSHB on Tumblr.
Grindr.
No, SSHB podcast.
You can find us on
SSHB podcast.
Grindr and Tinder. Swipe right.
Grinder and Tinder.
I hardly know her.
Can a podcast be on Tinder? I'll put it on there if so.
Let's date ourselves by including a joke about the Tide Pods meme.
Let's date ourselves by saying things like on fleek.
Well, we already talked about the government shutdown, so.
That's true. The government did
And I-
we?
yeah.
That'll probably be relevant for a long time.
Ugh.
It's
yeah,
fine.
the government,
Anarchy in the streets.
Yeah. Dancing in the streets. Dancing in the streets.
It's a raining man.
Hallelujah! It's raining rain. This has been Jake.
This has been Chris.
Oh, this has been Ames.
And this is always Caitlin.
Remember to eat your Tide Pod meme.
And spay your porg.
And
Ugh.
And
joke,
tribbles.
relevant joke.
Memes.
Timely memes.
Memes.
Rick and Morty. Pickle Rick. Fuck that shit.
How do we let them at the table?
Peter means rock.
Did I ever mention on this show how stupid I think the name of this is?
Star Trek?
The
A
Next
Star to Steer Her
No,
By?
Star Trek: The Next Generation.
You know, it's
It's
not
like
the very
Degrassi
next one.
Junior High and Degrassi.
There was actually a Degrassi: The Next Generation too.
Stop.
No.
I'm serious.
Stop.
After Degrassi
I
High,
know this is your house, but get out.
they made another series called Degrassi: The Next Generation. I'm not even kidding. It was literally the kids on Degrassi High's children.
No.
So they actually were the next
They
generation.
were.
Yeah, so the title made more sense there.
Yeah, but yeah, this one.
But their
kinda-
parents were all towny pieces of shit that never moved away from their
I
hometown.
think one
and-
of them was a teacher at the school now.
Ugh, I can't imagine anything
Welcome
worse than going to
back.
teach at the fucking school you went to school at.
Yeah, especially with Degrassi too, because like you know everything's going to shit. You know, like someone's getting AIDS, everyone's getting shot. Bad shit happened at Degrassi.
Man, I just want to watch Welcome Back, Kotter.
Anywho,
Yes.
so yeah, this is a stupid name for a series.
It
Starting
is.
the next
That's
generation.
terrible.
Weren't really being very creative there.
No.
So shame on you.